We're not going to have time to get into this aspect of it, but in the my Big Heaven book that most of you have read or are reading, one of the appendices talks about what I've called Christoplatonism and its influence on us. And it has to do with the Platonic view of the world as being evil. And even in the main body of the book, I deal with this sometimes, where the idea was, among the Greeks, philosophically, was that the physical realm is evil, and Plato actually said that the spirit was in bondage to the body, and at death, the spirit would be released, and that would be a good thing to not have a body. Well, some of the early church fathers, Origen was one of them, were heavily influenced in their thinking by Plato. But Plato is not the inspired word of God, and in fact, though many things he said I think were true, and all truth is God's truth, a number of the things he said were not true, and they're absolutely anti-biblical. The Hebrew Christian scriptures clearly show to us that God is the maker of the body, and it is not evil. It's good. It's fallen. And our spirits, our body spirits, we're together. One person, body, spirit, body. And you can talk about, there's what's called the tripartite view, spirit, soul, and body, or is soul just another term for spirit? Some people say no, but look at the passages that say you'll love the Lord your God with all your heart and mind and strength. So is your mind another part of you, and your heart another part of you, and your strength another part of you, and you know what I mean? Or all those are all talking about different aspects of our immaterial self. There's the physical self and the non-physical self. Either viewpoint you take will work. We don't even have to, present the pros and the cons of those, except just to say that we do have a physical body, and that physical body was made by God. Is it fallen? Of course. And so are our minds and hearts and souls and whatever we call the immaterial part of us. We are completely fallen. But it's not that we need to be delivered from our body. The flesh is a sin principle operating within the body. It's not synonymous with the body. The Greek word sarx is translated usually flesh, like when Paul's talking about flesh in the negative sense. And there's a Greek word called soma that's normally translated body. The soma and the sarx are not the same thing. There are times where they can be used interchangeably in other contexts, but the body is not a bad thing. God created it, and in fact, Paul says in 1 Corinthians 15, if the dead are not raised, we are of all men most to be what? Pitied. That's how important the resurrection is, that we will be joined to bodies. And that's how the resurrection of Jesus, and we'll be talking more about that and getting into the details of that, demonstrates what we will be like as physical beings.